sorry, how much ranch is the guy eating? Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at everything that rap superstar Jack Harlow eats in a day. And you can pause the screen or look at the description to check out my disclaimer, including a trigger warning to those with current or previous experiences with disordered eating. As always, please feel free to skip this video if it's not supportive to your journey. And if you are not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and follow me over on TikTok and Instagram at Abby's Kitchen. Before we get into today's video, let's play a little game called Abby's Daily Hunger Crushing Combo. So it's middle of the afternoon and I'm starting to feel a little bit of that afternoon dip. I'm also feeling like a little something sweet. So unicorn smoothie with lots of fresh fruit, some cashew butter, and a lot of Greek yogurt as well, plus a Built Bar puff. And not just any puff, folks, birthday cake. Because we can get through anything when there's some sprinkles on top. All right, but guys, I love these, not just because they have sprinkles, but because they've got a ton of protein in every bar, and they taste like chocolate because they're made with real chocolate. Like the puff specifically tastes kind of like a really delicious marshmallow wrapped in really good chocolate. And this combo right here, she just hits different. Puffy. So if you want to try out Built Bars for yourself, check out my link in the description and use my promo code AbbeySharp15 to get 15% off of your order. So this review has come highly requested from the Harper's Bazaar Vault, as the original video has about 2.5 million views. So yeah, your girl figured it was a high time to react. Let's get into it.
How do I start my day? Eggs, baby. Eggs with the veggies in them and the seasoning on them and the turkey.
Love this for him. We got protein and some fat in the eggs and the turkey, plus maybe a bit of fiber and antioxidants in the veg. And there are so many health benefits when it comes to eating eggs. They're rich in choline, which is an often underconsumed nutrient, have an ideal amino acid profile, and contrary to popular belief, they don't actually increase the risk of heart disease or stroke in the general population. We've also got a lot of research comparing egg-based breakfast to carb-based breakfast for weight loss, and due to their exceptionally high satiety profile, eggs always come out on top. Having said that, that doesn't mean that you need to shun carbs.
Exile or death.
It's exile.
Sold.
I actually think breakfast is an ideal time to get in some high fiber energizing carbs when you need the energy to like fuel your day. So pairing those eggs with some whole grain toast or fruit would be a really easy addition.
Not a coffee drinker. I had coffee maybe 3 times in my life. I like throat coat. I like to coat my throat. I like lemon in it. I like honey in it. I like anything that's good for my throat.
Ah, yes. There's always a unicorn who manages to get through adulthood without succumbing to the allure of the dark stuff.
It is useless to resist.
I cannot relate, nor can I really trust anyone like that. But anyway, the throat coat tea. So I looked this up and it's apparently formulated with licorice root, wild cherry bark, bitter fennel fruit, marshmallow root, and slippery elm bark to help to soothe the throat. And as a former singer myself, I can definitely understand its role. And we actually do have some early research to support some of these herbs' potential use. So one study found that slippery elm bark showed potential for soothing symptoms of laryngitis and throat inflammation, while another looked at marshmallow root for its potential in soothing irritations along the respiratory tract in general. But the most convincing research we have is for licorice root, which has been shown to reduce post-operative sore throat when gargled with for 5 minutes. But that's like a lot of time to gargle. Regardless of the ingredients' efficacy, all fluids are good fluids in my books when it comes to managing a sore throat. And the addition of lemon for some immune supporting vitamin C and honey for its evidence-based benefits for an accompanying cough all sounds like best practice for me. So if the throat coat stuff works for him, then it works for me.
I've been eating in the house a lot more. It's a lot of scrambled eggs. It's a lot of turkey sandwiches, peanut butter, bananas. Cereal on repeat, got cereal on repeat, honey bunches of oats with almonds in it, Raisin Bran Crunch.
Okay, so this Food Diaries episode was apparently filmed during peak quarantine. And honestly, this statement just brought back like a wave of triggering COVID quarantine nostalgia, and not in a good way. One of the first things to go during the start of COVID times was date nights at our favorite restaurants in the city. And as a really big foodie myself, it was a sad shift of affairs to have to like forfeit one of the favorite highlights of my week. And much like Jack, I imagine a lot of folks who were perhaps used to eating mostly takeout or restaurant meals had to develop some basic food skills to try to feed themselves when we all locked down. As for Jack's go-to quarantine meals, I think these options are super easy to prepare, inexpensive, and can offer a lot of nutrition bang for your buck. So as we already discussed with Jack's breakfast, scrambled eggs offer up a ton of protein and make it really easy to throw in some chopped veggies or some greens for a bit of color and fiber. A turkey sandwich makes for a really easy assembly, and you can mix it up with some different veggies and spreads and bread varieties to add more nutrition. The PB Sammy with banana is a crowd-pleasing favorite for good reason, because not only is it really fast and delicious, but it also makes for the perfect hunger-crushing combo because we're getting protein and fats from the PB and some fiber and energizing carbs from the banana and bread. As for the cereal, this guy's speaking my love language. Honey Bunches of Oats is like the most underrated cereal of all time. Like, argue with me about it in the comments. But if you want to make it a hunger-crushing combo, you can pop it on top of some Greek yogurt with some berries and nuts, or mix your favorite milk with some protein powder for the base.
As I've said in other interviews, big water guy over here. We also been on the juice wave since quarantine started. A lot of cranberry, a lot of lemonade type juices, trying to stop any kidney stones from going down.
Hydration is obviously important for everyone, but it's particularly important for kidney stone prevention as it helps to flush out the kidneys and decrease the likelihood of stone formation. However, there's really no research to suggest that cranberry juice specifically helps to prevent kidney stones. In fact, most research has found that it may actually increase the risk because cranberry juice is high in oxalates, which can bind to calcium and increase calcium oxalate kidney stones. It may also decrease the amount of urinary citric acid excretion and make the urine pH more acidic, which collectively can increase the likelihood of developing a calcium oxalate or uric acid stone. So other than drinking just regular water to lower your kidney stone risk, research seems to suggest that juices high in citric acid may help to prevent stone formation. So if you're particularly prone to developing kidney stones, some great juice options to help lower your risk include orange, lemon, blackcurrant, and grapefruit juice.
I've been taking too much sodium and my blood pressure was a little higher than normal. And I told her I've been eating a lot of ranch. So I've given up ranch during quarantine.
I've been a dietitian for like over 10 years, and I don't think I've ever seen ranch be named like the primary culprit of high blood pressure. But I mean, if you're consuming a lot of it, I guess it certainly could tip the scales. A quarter cup of ranch dip has about 20% of the daily recommended sodium intake. So I guess if he's like going through bottles of it, it could be worth scaling back or trying to like make your own with some Greek yogurt and like lots of fresh herbs in there. But while reducing sodium intakes can absolutely help with blood pressure readings, there are often a lot of other modifiable and non-modifiable risk factors at play as well. If I were Jack's dietitian, I would be looking at his potassium intakes through fruits and vegetables, physical inactivity, smoking, alcohol intake, and stress levels before swearing off a beloved dip altogether.
So at the start of quarantine, I bought a treadmill and I was going crazy on the treadmill every day. Exercise is important to me, but I just seem to do it in phases.
It's totally normal to get into an exercise rut where like we oscillate between hitting the gym really hard and then dropping off altogether. And that's totally okay. I find that the best way to get out of an exercise rut is to really start small, have compassion for yourself, and focus on goals that have nothing to do with weight or body aesthetics. For me, I know that a gentle walk outside will help me kind of get out of my head or clear my anxious thoughts and help me relax, whereas maybe doing some strength training or cardio in the morning helps to give me energy for the rest of the day so I can power through without burning out. And some days I also know that I just need like a full, complete rest, and that's okay too. Compassion and kindness is the key to consistency.
2-3 weeks I was on a mean, dangerous cheesesteak streak. Eating a cheesesteak every day. Covering it in ranch, drenching it in ranch. I had to cut that out too.
Why is the guy taking nutrition and health advice from his engineer? I mean, if he came to a dietitian like me, I would say nothing is inherently bad. Yes, we know that high intakes of red meat, especially red processed meat, can increase inflammation and increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and certain cancers. But does that mean you can never enjoy a cheesesteak again? Absolutely not. It's obvious that cheesesteaks bring Jack joy, and I mean, they're delicious, so I totally get that. But health outcomes can never be reduced to a single factor, and any one single food is unlikely to have a significant effect when consumed in moderation. We also can't look at a single food in a less nutritious circumstance and assume that it's bad in all circumstances. So for example, if he's drowning an already high salt, high fat cheesesteak in ranch dressing, I can see a desire to maybe cut back or find an acceptable alternative. But if ranch dip is helping Jack enjoy more colorful vegetables, which also happen to supply potassium and fiber, then I think it's definitely well worth keeping in rotation.
Yeah, I'll snack. I love chips. I'm not much of a candy guy. I like savory things. I like garden salsa sun chips. I like spicy nacho Doritos, but I had to give them up. My asshole was ablaze too many times.
Okay, so normally I don't think we need to give up any specific foods that we love, but if your asshole is on fire when you eat a food, it's probably in your best interest to stop eating it. But let's talk about spicy food for a hot minute.
That's hot.
So the sensation of heat in foods comes from the compound capsaicin, which can not only irritate the digestive tract and cause abdominal pain and heartburn in sensitive folks, but it can also pass right through us undigested. In other words, if the capsaicin travels all the way to your nether regions intact, it's not likely gonna feel so good coming out the other end. I'm not sure how much real capsaicin is in Doritos, but regardless, if you're getting the spicy runs, it's probably best to opt for a basic potato chip and call it a day.
Dinner could be anywhere from 6 p.m. to midnight. Studio life seems to always end up being Sarpino's pizza. In my prime, or even in, you could say, my darkest days, I was eating 8 slices, running through them.
I totally get that late nights in the studio may warrant a pizza run.
Pizza time.
But this is 2022. There are hundreds of DoorDash options open late. And since sodium does seem to be an issue for Jack, possibly due to blood pressure or kidney stones, which are also impacted by salt, I would try to switch up the dinner routine. And if it's gonna be a pizza night, amazing. Maybe add in a little side salad for some extra potassium and fiber to keep us feeling satiated on fewer than 8 slices. That way we get our pizza, but we keep our sodium in check.
Chick-fil-A is a cheat meal. Despite how terribly I'm already living, it's a cheat meal nonetheless, because it immediately just makes me slower and tired.
So this really speaks to the importance of tuning into our body's true physical sensations to serve as a guide for making food decisions. I'm sure Jack has a super crazy schedule, and if Chick-fil-A slows him down and makes him feel sluggish, he may just intuitively want to choose it less often. Not because it's bad or because you are bad for eating it, but because it just doesn't make him feel good.
I feel like Cinnabon is a perfect example of something that you just gave up that day. I never feel good about myself after I finish one of those. Food is so much like sex to me. And you can tell how healthy my relationship with sex must be. I'm telling you, it's so regretful sometimes.
So food and sex are ultimately related, as they're really two of life's greatest pleasures and also biological needs. But feeling regret, guilt, or shame after either can be a really big red flag. If your body doesn't feel great after eating Chick-fil-A or a Cinnabon, then use that experience as data to inform our future food decisions. But it shouldn't be a reflection of you being a bad person who has made some kind of regretful, terrible mistake. Eat the cinnamon bun, gather and acknowledge the data, and move on.
A grilled cheese.
I love a late night grilled cheese. It is like honestly my favorite lazy girl dinner. I also think that despite being branded a junk food by a lot of people, grilled cheese can actually be a pretty versatile meal with ample room for adding nutritional value. For instance, you can add some apple or caramelized onions for some sweetness, maybe mash up some avocado for a dose of healthy fats and creaminess, or even layer on some basil and tomato for like a caprese style grilled cheese. The flavor options and nutritional boosters are literally endless. So to summarize, I kind of felt like this interview was like a list of all the foods that Jack loves eating, but that he's had to cut out. I didn't hear a lot of insight into what he's replaced all of these beloved snacks and meals with, and I think that that's actually really important. When we focus on what we need to cut out or restrict, we get stuck in scarcity mentality, and it can leave us longing for those foods even more. So rather than going from 100 to 0 on all the foods he enjoys, I would love to see him focus on what he can add to his meals to really round out the nutrition and satiety. And I think this is a really good lesson for a lot of folks who are struggling with a similar mentality at home. But on that note, my stomach is growling and I'm craving a Cinnabon like crazy right now. So that is all that I have for you guys today. If you like this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below on who or what you'd like to see me review next. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye! Oh my God, I need to eat.